Welcome to the Get Factor. We're Jemmy and I exploring a new blog post by Mr. Len Kaplan, CEO of CDML, a managed service provider in Queens, NY, offering network management, voice over IP and UCaaS, cybersecurity compliance, IaaS, cloud solutions, and Microsoft 365 and Azure solutions. If you're a small business owner or manage IT for a growing organization, this deep dive is for you.
That's absolutely right. Our mission today, it's pretty laser-focused, giving you, the SMB owner or manager, a real shortcut to solving some of that project management chaos.
Yeah, the juggling act.
Exactly. We know you're juggling way too much, and we want to look at how a tool you probably already own, Microsoft Lists, might just be the answer.
Okay, so the blog post we're diving into is called Structured Project Tracking with Microsoft Lists. And it paints a picture that's, well, frankly, it's painfully familiar for a lot of businesses, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. That operational quicksand idea.
Right. Projects aren't just in one neat folder. They're sprawled across, endless email threads, maybe some random Excel sheet somewhere.
Sticky notes on monitors.
Chats. Chats you can never find later. Have you ever had to ask 3 different people just to find out where things stand with one client? Yeah, this is for you.
And what's interesting is how the author pinpoints the gap within the Microsoft 365 world itself. Lots of folks try to force, say, Microsoft Planner or To-Do to manage complex stuff.
Which are great tools, individually.
Brilliant for simple tasks, absolutely. But they kind of fall down when you really need structured data.
Okay, help us out. Structured data. For someone thinking, look, data is just data. What's the key difference?
Good question. Think about, like, a basic to-do item versus maybe a new client onboarding form. For the to-do, you just need a name, maybe a deadline. Simple, but structured data. That means you need guardrails. You need a field that has to be a date, maybe an expiration date, or a drop-down list you have to pick from, like, pre-approved departments.
Oh, so you can't just type anything.
Exactly. Or a column that needs a properly formatted ID number. Planner just, well, it can't enforce that level of consistency. It wasn't built for it.
Gotcha. So let's unpack the solution presented. Microsoft Lists. How does the post define this for, the average business user who's maybe already feeling a bit swamped by apps and features?
Well, the post calls it a powerful but lightweight database tool. And crucially, it's built for business users, not hardcore database admins.
Okay, lightweight sounds good.
Yeah, it's designed not just to track data, but to really organize entire workflows. I think the best way to think about it maybe is like Excel's smarter cousin.
Ah, okay, I like that. Smarter how?
It still looks familiar, rows and columns, but underneath it has the intelligence of a database, plus built-in automation, collaboration features, and it's all deeply baked into Teams and SharePoint.
Right, so it lives where you're already working.
Precisely.
So the core idea is bringing order, and you mentioned visibility, to those repetitive processes that need consistent tracking, setting up those guardrails.
Exactly right. And that versatility makes it a really good fit for SMBs who, let's be honest, probably can't afford the big, complex enterprise-level project systems.
Like a full SAP implementation or something.
Exactly. Those come with huge licensing fees and complexity. Lists avoids that.
So what kind of things can we actually track with this? The blog post gives some really practical examples, moving beyond just simple tasks.
Yeah, pretty much anything that follows a consistent process and needs collaborative tracking. Think about critical stuff like client onboarding or offboarding, too.
Mm-hmm.
Maintaining IT equipment inventories, we should definitely circle back to that one. Tracking service tickets, managing change requests, even coordinating things like content calendars if you do marketing.
So if it involves some kind of form or a checklist that multiple people touch over time.
Lists is probably a good fit. Yeah, it's designed for exactly that.
And the post also mentions visualization, that not everyone has to look at the same spreadsheet-style view.
Yeah, and that's actually a bigger deal than it sounds for getting people to use it. A manager might want that classic grid view, see all the details, but someone else on the team, maybe they need a calendar view because deadlines are everything for them, or there's a gallery view, which is great if you're tracking things with images like inventory.
So that flexibility means less complaining, maybe, and better collaboration.
Less friction, definitely. The data is useful to everyone in the way they need to see it.
Okay, let's tackle the 800-pound gorilla here.
Yeah.
We all use Excel. We all have that spreadsheet nightmare somewhere. Final V3 used this one really. Final.xlsx.
Oh, I know that file.
Right. So why should I, as an SMB owner, ditch the spreadsheet I kind of know, even if I hate it, for lists? What's the real edge?
It really boils down to efficiency and, importantly, data integrity. And that translates directly into saving time and reducing risk. Spreadsheets, they just don't enforce structure, you know?
Yeah, you type NA in a date column, Excel doesn't care.
Exactly. Or you misspell a client name slightly differently each time. With lists, like the post details, you enforce those data types. Dates are dates. Names come from this list.
So the data going in is clean from the start.
Clean, standardized, and immediately usable for reporting or filtering. No messy cleanup needed.
That consistency must make a huge difference. And you mentioned visual cues, too, helping managers see things faster.
Absolutely. Lists has conditional formatting built in. So instead of you manually highlighting rows or scanning endless data, you set a rule. Like, if status is blocked, A&D overdue by 2 days, make the row bright red. Instantly, your eyes go to the problems.
So it's like an automated dashboard almost.
In a way, yeah. Plus, huge difference from Excel. It integrates directly into Teams. So you can discuss a specific list item right there in the chat channel for that project.
Instead of emailing back and forth about row 17.
Exactly. Keeps the conversation connected to the data. No more which version are you looking at emails.
Now, what about security? That's always a concern, especially with client data.
Critical point. Lists automatically respects your existing Microsoft 365 security and compliance settings because the data lives inside lists, within SharePoint technically. It's governed by your organization's security framework. You don't have that risk of someone downloading a sensitive spreadsheet and emailing it out accidentally. It keeps things organized, actionable, and secure.
Okay, let's get down to brass tacks then. Based on this structured project tracking with Microsoft Lists post, give us a couple of really high-value specific examples listeners could maybe implement, like tomorrow.
Okay, first one, it's a classic time sink for almost every growing business. The client onboarding tracker.
Always tricky.
So you set up a list. Each new client is an item. And you track specific structured fields, contract date, who's the assigned tech, maybe a checklist of setup steps, the go live status.
Right.
The result, immediate clarity. Everyone knows exactly where that client is in the process without having to ask 5 different people. Accountability goes way up.
I can see that preventing things from falling through the cracks. What's another big one?
The other one, which often gets ignored until there's a fire, is managing physical stuff. IT, asset, and equipment management.
Instead of that dusty spreadsheet someone updated 2 years ago.
Exactly. Use lists to maintain serial numbers, purchase dates, warranty expirations, who it's assigned to. But here's the kicker, the real value add.
Yeah.
You use the automation features, we'll talk more about those, to trigger automatic email alerts when a warranty is about to expire, or maybe when a lease is up for renewal.
Oh, wow. Proactive reminders.
Yep. That saves real money and prevents that horrible surprise of, oh crap, the server warranty expired last week right before it dies.
That alone sounds incredibly useful. Now, you mentioned security, which ties into asset tracking. The blog post really emphasizes compliance, too. That's a non-negotiable area where lists seems to shine for SMBs, especially if they're in regulated fields.
Compliance is huge, yes. The post gives a great example, the Employee Security Training Tracker.
Okay, what does that look like?
It's a list where you track for each employee, things like security training completion dates, maybe quiz scores, certificate renewal dates for programs like HIPAA, HIPAA, or maybe state regulations like NYDFS.
Right, things you have to track for audits.
Exactly. If an auditor walks in, you don't scramble. You pull out the list, one single verifiable source of truth showing who did what training and when.
That's serious peace of mind for an SMB owner. And the source, CDML, actually mentions they can help set up the permissions and policies needed for things like NYDFS or HIPAA or the SHIELD Act.
Yeah, because it's not just having the list, right? It's making sure the list itself and how you manage it meets those legal requirements, access control, data retention, all of that.
Got it. The whole compliance life cycle. Okay, so lists is great for tracking. But how does it go from being a good tracker to being like a real game changer? The post argues its true strength is the M365 ecosystem integration.
That integration is really what elevates it. You mentioned Teams earlier, just adding a list as a tab in a project channel. That alone makes collaboration so much easier. It's right where the work happens.
Okay.
But the real power boost comes from Power Automate.
Automation. Now that sounds potentially complicated. For an SMB owner who's just trying to manage email, is setting up Power Automate flows realistic? Aren't we just trading spreadsheet chaos for automation complexity?
That's a fair question, and it's definitely a hurdle some people perceive. But, Power Automate has come a long way. It's largely low code now, lots of templates.
Low code meaning less programming.
Yeah, more like connecting blocks. And this is often where, an expert partner like CDML comes in. They help design the structure once to eliminate that repetitive manual work forever.
Okay, give me an example. How does Power Automate connect to that training tracker?
Okay, so the list shows the certificate renewal is overdue by, say, 3 days. Power Automate can automatically, 1, create a high-priority task in the manager's Microsoft To-Do. 2, send a reminder email to the employee. 3, maybe even send a weekly summary report to HR showing all overdue training until it's marked complete in the list.
Wow, so it does the chasing for you.
It handles the nagging, all that manual follow-up that eats up hours of management time. That's the real ROI.
Automating the handoffs and reminders. Okay, I see the power there.
And then if you want to take it even further, think bigger picture. Business intelligence. Power BI integrates beautifully.
For charts and dashboards.
Exactly. You can pull metrics and trends directly from your list data. Suddenly, you're not just managing rows. You're seeing dashboards showing average client onboarding time, number of open IT tickets, overall compliance status.
So list stops being just a checklist and becomes almost like a foundational piece of the company's data framework.
It really can, yeah. Because it all sits on SharePoint foundationally. It benefits from SharePoint's versioning, permissions, all managed under your organization's security and governance. That's why services like those mentioned in the post, designing custom list templates, setting up the Power Automate flows, and crucially, training the staff are so important, making sure the structure works and people can actually use it easily.
Okay, so if we boil all this down and synthesizing the knowledge from this deep dive into Microsoft lists, what's the main takeaway?
I think the key takeaway is this. Microsoft Lists is kind of the perfect bridge. It sits right between the chaos of spreadsheets and emails and the, frankly, often overwhelming complexity and cost of those huge enterprise project management tools.
Right, that middle ground.
Yeah, it brings much-needed structure, accountability, and a dose of automation to everyday business operations. You get visibility without needing, a PhD in software engineering.
That really leads to a critical question for you, the listener, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If your team is still juggling vital information across scattered spreadsheets, endless emails, maybe think about your most chaotic process. Could be a client onboarding, could be IT requests, could be that mandatory training. What structure could Microsoft Lists bring to that process?
It's definitely worth exploring that first step towards getting organized.
And as the source suggests, you might want to reach out to CDML Computer Services to explore implementing efficient, secure Microsoft 365 solutions like this, or just head over to their blog to read more. If you found this deep dive helpful, we'd love it if you click that thumbs up button. Till next time.